Right.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Buffalo Bros podcast. Joining next to me, I have Aiden. We have through Zoom, we have Trevor. And then we also have a very special guest, Captain of the Buffalo Beauts, Taylor Accursi. First off, Taylor, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
We're doing good, doing good.
Doing great. Hanging in there. I got my COVID vaccine yesterday and I felt like garbage earlier. Now I'm starting to feel a little bit better, so that's always
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that is good. Well, I had mine a couple weeks ago, and yeah, same thing. I felt like I was just dead for 3 days.
Yep. I had the Moderna. I don't know about you, but that one just kicked me so hard. I was like, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. And then 6 hours later, oh my god, I was passed out.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I had the Pfizer, and I was that first night. I needed a nap for like 8 hours. I was
Yeah.
dead.
All right, Trevor, yep, go ahead and lead us off, Jeff.
All right, so the first question we have for you today is how did you become interested in playing hockey and who were some of your idols in sports as a kid growing up?
Ooh, how I started playing. Well, pretty easy. My dad grew up playing hockey, and my mom grew up playing ringette. So did a lot of skating. My dad took me out on the pond, started wheeling around on there, and then it was just natural for him to put a hockey stick in my hand and went from there. I loved, from a woman's perspective, I loved watching Megan Augusta. I just think that she's a fabulous athlete and all around great person. I've actually had the chance to meet her at a couple Team Canada camps. So she's a great human. And then obviously Alexander Ovechkin. The guy just sells hard every game, and I think it's something that I try to do every time I score because you never know when your last goal is, right? So yeah, and he has so much fun. So I would say that those two.
Nice.
So, what college options did you have coming out of high school? And was Mercyhurst always your number one choice?
College options. I had quite the list. I would say, but I was able to narrow the list down to top two. Mercyhurst was obviously in my top two just because of their program that they had. And St. Lawrence, actually, they have a really sick barn. So I had to weigh out my options, what I wanted to do with school and how that was going to be able to transfer back to work in Canada. And ultimately, everything just kind of pointed in the direction of going to Mercyhurst. So it was great. It was awesome. No regrets.
So what was kind of the follow-up on that? What was the experience at Mercyhurst as far as like the whole team aspect and how you played and stuff like that during your Mercyhurst career?
So because Mercyhurst has such a really good program, they take a lot of really good players. And a lot of the players that they take, again, like every coach is kind of like a sales guy. You know, they're like, oh, come here, do this, we'll give you that, blah, blah, blah. But by the time I got there, because I committed in my grade 10 year. So I verbally committed to them that I was going to attend there after my senior year of high school. But by the time I got there, I didn't end up playing technically a full season until my junior and senior year, which is super unfortunate considering, like I probably could have given a lot more to the program. But my last 2 years, I was able to kind of run the power play and snag a couple of really good goals that the team ultimately needed. Won a CHA championship and went to a couple national tournaments. So all in all, a couple of years, I'd say I did pretty good.
Awesome. So you've mentioned Ovechkin being one of your sports idols as a kid, and selling hard. You've been given the nickname the Selly Queen. First, how did that come about? Who gave it to you? Was that something that you just kind of, took right away and just rode with it, or was it something that you might not have maybe liked in the beginning and then kind of started off that way?
Yeah, so actually, my first year pro with the Buffalo Beauts, I remember a writer by the name of Dan Rice. He was writing an article about me, and he pretty much just said this this player's like the Selly Queen of the league. Like, you know, every Selly, whether it was like the most garbage goal or it was like an absolute snipe, it didn't matter. I Sellied like it was my last goal ever. And ever since I saw that and I actually was able to meet him face to face, I kind of just, I rode with it. And honestly, it's become one of my, what I'm famous for, I guess you could say, around the league. Like, players know, like, oh, who's the Selly Queen? Oh, like Taylor Accursi. Like, it kind of is, it is what it is. And like I said, I roll with it. I love it. Honestly, I wish, like, if I like applied a job that could write that on my application, but I for sure get the job, you know, but can't do that.
So do you plan out your celebrations or do they just come natural?
Oh God, no, they come natural. I've got like a whole book of them. If I thought about it and then nothing would happen, I'd freeze up. So in the moment, I just let it happen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's like the opposite of when I used to play JV lacrosse, and they'd be like, "Okay, if I score here, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'll throw my glove in the air and shoot it down with the butt end of my stick or something like that." I'll be like, "It just has to come natural to you."
Right.
People that plan it out, I have a feeling that they just will like never score. They'll go on like a 3-game cold streak where they just don't score at all, just because they plan their celly. Like, just don't jinx yourself. You gotta back off a little bit.
Right. It's like, it's almost like it's bad luck. Like, if you don't think about it, it just happens. It seems to happen more often. But if, again, like, I agree with you, if it's like, okay, I'm going to go into this game, I'm going to do this, when I snipe from like the corner or whatever, it doesn't happen. So.
And so do you have any like pregame rituals or superstitions, like stuff that that stuff that you don't do before a game, stuff that you do kind of like you have to do before a game?
I always have to like tape my stick. It's gotta be fresh. And then I also, every game, and I feel bad for our equipment manager, but he's learned to kind of just deal with me. I get my skate sharpened every 2 periods. And
There
and
you go.
if I feel like, you know, like they're not working, I'll just be like, hey Josh, can you give these a sharpen? And it's kind of like a fresh start, you know? Like, ooh, okay, like not a good period. Like, I need to sharpen. Like, if I'm getting goals and I'm sniping, then obviously they could be dull for all I care. They seem to be working. But again, yeah, usually every 2 periods. And then that's pretty much it. I just get a coffee my way in before warm up, and that's it. And honestly, I keep it simple.
Nice. So in 2019, you had an opportunity to play an outdoor game with the Beauts. So what was that experience like?
Honestly, it's probably like the highlight of since I've been pro in Buffalo. Just the atmosphere was awesome. There were so many fans there. And being able to play out like right on the harbor there, it was fantastic. I mean, obviously we didn't win, but I'm gonna just say that it was a career high for me. It was a great opportunity to crush Hillary Knight's record and just kind of go from there. I mean, again, we wanted to win, but it was pretty exciting, and it without this pandemic, you know, kind of ruining everything, I feel like it's something that the league should put on every year, whether it's at the Buffalo rink, outdoor harbor, or somewhere out in Boston, whatever. Every team can kind of take an opportunity to host something like that. I think that'd be great for the league.
Definitely.
So you did not play in the bubble due to work, but as captain of the team, how closely were connected were you? Were you still talking with your the players in between games and stuff like that, or were you just kind of, you know, I'm not there. I'm just going to let them handle what's going on inside the bubble?
So the bubble was actually, it was like super difficult for me. You know, I bring a lot of energy. I get the girls right fired up about like everything. So to not be able to actually physically attend, it was a change. I actually worked really close with our GM and kind of facilitating, okay, like what time should I call? What should I say to the girls? I kind of took on like essentially like a scouting role. Okay, this is what this team likes to do. These are their tendencies. And then I also kind of let them hear it when they weren't playing the greatest. I called like after, and I pretty much was like, what the hell is going on with you guys? But honestly, like I try to stay as positive as I can. That's kind of my mindset. Everyone's there kind of to have fun, but you know, yeah, the bubble, it was awful for me to have to watch. But again, season 7 is quickly approaching, so I cannot wait.
That's awesome. And in this new season, the Buttes named Rhea Cohen. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Ria
um,
Code. Yeah.
as the new head coach, and what is she going to bring to the team? Is she going to bring like a very competitive fire to the team this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had the privilege to work with Ria in the past. I wouldn't say Lake Placid, but like mildly Lake Placid. But the season before that, great individual, knows what she's talking about, great energy, very positive, and she just brings a whole different side of the game that I feel the Buttes organization needs. She thinks outside the box. She's not scared to try things, and I'm actually really excited to um, see her grow in this role as well.
Awesome.
So as you said before, the season's quickly approaching. But what does a normal off season look like for you? Are you putting the skates away for a little bit? Or are you still training quite frequently?
So in the summer, I kind of have a rule. I don't go on the ice at all. I find like my body, needs a break from skating and all that stuff. So I'll do a lot of off ice training. I'll train all summer. Very, very hard in the gym. But from an on ice perspective, I don't typically go out on the ice until maybe the end of August. Start going to get my hockey legs back. That's about it. Honestly, I keep it simple. I like to feel like I miss it because then you come out working even harder, right? So.
Yep.
So I've had the opportunity to play with my brother on a baseball team for a good majority of my baseball career. So your sister's on the Buttes. Have you played with your sister on any school or travel team growing up? And how special is it to be able to share the Buttes uniform with her?
So my sister would have been in the ninth grade. I would have been in grade 12 when we had the opportunity to actually play on the same high school team. But it was during this weird like teacher strike thing. So they actually canceled the high school like hockey aspect of it. So we never actually got to physically play together, which it sucked. But since she signed with the Buttes, and again, this is also another part of why I was so like sad that I couldn't go to Lake Placid, was to be able to, be a part of her first pro game and like, give her a couple nice sauces. Maybe she would have scored, who knows? But again, like just be able to like support her. And I think having the opportunity moving forward to like season 7 is going to be huge for us. And hopefully we can do some damage for the Buffalo Beauts.
Absolutely. Before you leave, I have to ask you a quick question. Are you by any chance related to Mike Accursi?
Yes, I am.
Player? Wow.
Yeah, I am. He's my cousin actually. He's a beauty. He's out coaching Halifax in the NLL. So
yeah, I remember watching him as a Buffalo Bandit the year they won the NLL championship in 2008. He was one of their top contributors to that championship run.
Oh yeah. So that's what, again, like more pressure for me to do something for the Buffalo Beauts here. We got to bring a championship back, so then we can I can send him a text and bug him about it. Oh man, yeah.
It's awesome.
Right, well, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me out. Like I said, if you guys ever want to do kind of like a mid-season or anything in the future, just shoot me an email or a DM, and I'd be more than happy to come back on for you guys.
Sure.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.